Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Dinger Tokens Cativersity. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit more about operational security. For those of you who don't remember what that is, that's kind of the process of making sure that you reduce the ways that people can hack into your devices, learn that you have a portion of your financial wealth stored in cryptocurrencies or things of that nature from other people. Reduce attack vectors on yourself, like from a wrench attack, like that last scenario of avoiding letting other people know about your financial situations and whatnot. But also like some things that you can do from both a physical and a non-physical perspective to make sure that you're not putting your tokens at risk of being hacked into or accidentally stolen or given away by you to a thief, something along those lines. So we're going to be talking about a couple of different things to help you maintain good operational security and make sure that you can go about your day-to-day life in a manner knowing that you're trying to keep your tokens as safe as they possibly can and at lowest risk possible for counterparty risk, which you get when you put them on an exchange, or other types of risks from being attacked from cyber criminals that are out there. This list that I'm going to give you is not fully exhaustive. It's not everything that you can do. You can still get attacked if you do all of these things. You can still fall victim to cybercrime. You can still make mistakes and give up your keys or accidentally fall victim to a scam just on accident. Things happen. A lot of the people who were known as the best in the industry left some amount of wealth even on FTX and lost everything. So just remember that at the end of the day. This isn't everything. These are just a few things to keep in mind to protect you. So to start off, I'm going to talk about data silos, right? So right here you can see we've got a definition of a data silo up here. And so what is a data silo? It's an isolated point in a system where data is kept segregated. So for our purposes, we're going to think of data as our crypto, right? As our actual physical coins. Well, they're not physical, obviously, but the coins that we have. And so when you think about how do I keep these coins safe, well, one thing that you can do is get a hardware wallet. Get somewhere that you're going to be storing your tokens that you have to physically engage with for them to move, so that somebody can't just get a login to your web browser and move all your tokens here or there or whatever. So try to get a hardware wallet. Get something that's going to put you make it one additional step for somebody to scam you or to take advantage of you or to do things of that nature. And then once you have a hardware wallet, make sure that you do things like set up two-factor authentication on everything, on all your email logins, on all your crypto logins, on all your brokerage logins, on everything. Make sure that you have two-factor authentication set up. And the text-based one isn't necessarily the best if they just are texting your phone for authentication or sending an email to your email address. If your email gets corrupted and they can log into your email and then you authenticate with your email, it's a pretty easy way to get locked out or get your tokens stolen. Same thing with texting. There's SIM swaps that can happen. SIM swaps attacks are a very common method that people can have their two-factor authentication overrun and they can have their tokens stolen. One thing that I'm a big fan of are these Yubico authenticators. I probably mispronounced that, but it's a really cool thing. It's a hardware authenticator. It's totally separate, and you get similar to a Google Authenticator app or something like on your phone, which I also like as an entry level to getting an authenticator. But it's just like one additional step. The hardware wallet is step one, but then you go step two and you get an authenticator, right? You make sure that there's a couple of leaps, a couple of things that they're going to have to jump through to make sure that to be able to ever get to the point to scam you. So you're making it really difficult on these people to get to your tokens. That's the idea with operational security. What's another way you can make it really, really difficult for them to get to your tokens? Make sure that you set up really strong, unique passwords. Nobody can tell you like, hey, make it exactly 8 characters with this number of letters and numbers and random symbols, because then that could be running an algorithm and they could potentially guess based off of, oh, they're going to try to do this many variations. But make them different, make them unique. Do random strings of characters, numbers, and symbols. Make it 7 sometimes, make it 9 sometimes, make it 12 sometimes. Change it every quarter or every half of the year. Make sure that you're writing these down on a physical place or location and not keeping them online in a text file or something like that where you can lose them from over the internet. So make sure that you're thinking about these things when you're creating your passwords for everything so that you're making another difficult step for a scammer or a hacker to get to you. So those are just like 3-4 really simple things that you can do to practice really good operational security. Another thing that John asked me to talk about and that we talked about just a little bit for fun is a Faraday cage. So this is going to be your homework. I'm going to ask, if you watched this episode and you're in the Telegram group, it would be really awesome if you would try to make your very own example of a Faraday cage. Don't necessarily like put your crypto in a Faraday cage or risk doing something that you don't know too much about. But a Faraday cage, basically the concept is it removes the ability for any electromagnetic fields to come from the outside of it to inside of it. So if you have one of these hardware wallets, potentially, right? And you want to make sure, hey, it has Bluetooth potentially on it. So that's an attack vector. I want to make it so nobody could connect a Bluetooth to this. Well, you could create a Faraday cage, put your hardware wallet in the Faraday cage. Now there's literally no way to get in there. John says it as though it's a schizo thing to do, which is kind of funny to say. But yeah, so I would encourage you all, research what these are. They're kind of interesting just to learn about the history of them. But if you wanted to go all the way on that far end of paranoia with wanting to keep your stuff protected, there's a Faraday cage. So that's all that I have for today. Gonna try to keep it short and sweet. Looks like we have about 7.5 minutes of episode here. Thank you all for joining us yet again for another Dinger Token Cativersity. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. That goes a really long way to helping us out. Helps the algorithm show our videos more often. And we're going to be posting them once every 2 weeks, ideally on a Friday or Saturday. But we'll see when I'm able to get those out. So thanks again. If you have any questions, put them in the comments, put them in the Telegram group. Make sure that you're asking them. I'll try to get to them if I can. But yeah, thanks again, and hope you all have a great rest of your weekend.